Good morning, dear students. Welcome to your chemistry class. Today, we are going to start a new chapter in chemistry, that is your chapter 6 Combustion, Flame, and Fuel. Right? So, I hope the previous chapter you have understood very well. And let's begin with some enthusiasm and a new topic, chapter 6 Combustion, Flame, and Fuel. So, basically, this chapter is somehow related to your coal and petroleum chapter, but the thing is that most of the part of this chapter is related to burning. So what happens when something burns, what kind of products can be released, how any substances burns, so all about this. So by the name of the chapter you have understood that what are the things in it. So let's move on. So combustion words actually define the burning of any substance. Okay, combustible, that means how intensively or how speedily, or you can say how rapidly a substance can burn. The potential of a substance to catch fire easily, this you can say also. Very best example, the potential of any substance to catch fire easily is known as the combustible property. So what is combustion? So it is the process in which a combustible substance reacts with oxygen to produce energy. Now, how combustion will take place? Now we have understood that whatever the substance which catches the fire very easily are known as combustible substance. Okay, now how this will catch fire, how this will burn? So with the help of oxygen, any substance will burn to produce energy in the form of heat and light. So if we are having a matchbox and a matchstick, now we know that the matchstick is a combustible substance because the phosphorus present on the matchstick at the tip of the matchstick is a combustible substance which will catch fire very easily, but it requires one more thing to catch the fire, that is oxygen. If oxygen is not present, then the burning of any substance will not occur. Now, from where this oxygen will come? From where any substance will take oxygen? It will take from its surrounding air, because in air oxygen is in abundance. So, from air particles, oxygen is taken by the combustible substances. Therefore, any substance which is combustible can burn in the open air because air consists of oxygen and produce energy in the form of heat and light. So I hope that this point got cleared by you, that what is combustion, what is combustible substances. Okay, for example of combustion, burning of sulfur in the air, an explosion of hydrogen gas in the air, burning of candle wax. So all these kinds of burning which are releasing heat and light are examples of combustion, because kind of combustion combustible substances is present here. Because in the first case sulfur is there, if sulfur will be not there, then how the burning process will occur? So here the combustible substance is sulfur. In the next point, explosion of hydrogen gas or hydrogen in the air, if hydrogen will not present, then which substance will burn? So this is the combustible substance in the next point. In the third point, candle wax, if candle wax will not there, then how the candle wax will burn? So a combustible substances must be the priority, or you can say the first requirement for the combustion to take place, and second is your oxygen. Okay, coming to fuels, we have already seen what is fuels, fossil fuels and all. So a short description about fuels is that is substances which burns easily are known as fuels, such as coal, petroleum, firewoods, natural gas, etc. Okay, these all produces energy on burning, releases heat and light, all are known as fuels. Okay, let's move on. Now, when any substance burn, we may see two cases. First, if heat is required for the reaction to take place, and second, the heat is released during the reaction. So these two kinds of reactions are categorized in endothermic and exothermic reaction. Okay, what are endothermic reaction? So reaction in which heat is required. Initially we have to provide the heat so that any kind of substance which will burn. So for burning process, if heat will be required, we will providing the heat. we are providing the heat to burn that substance is known as endothermic reaction. Okay, while in exothermic reaction, what happens? Heat is not required by us. That means we are not going to provide heat initially, while heat will be released after the reaction has been occurred. That means we know that for the reaction to take place, I have already told you in the chapter metal and non-metal, that we have products, different kinds of products are there, and after reaction what happens? We get, sorry, reactants are there, and after that, after the reaction, it is converted into the product. So suppose if heat are provided to the reactant, that means initially heat is provided to the reactant sites so that the reaction may occur and forms products, then it is known as endothermic reaction. While in exothermic, what happens? Reactant site has enough energy to react itself, reaction site has enough energy to react itself, and no heat is required initially. Only after the product, when the product will form, then heat is also released with it. Heat is represented by this delta, this small triangle known as delta. Okay, so this symbol in science represent heat release of heat. So when product plus heat is released, that is the exothermic reaction. That means heat is releasing in these kinds of reaction known as exothermic reaction. Okay, I hope you all have understood. And one more important point is that combustion reaction is what? Combustion reaction is a type of exothermic reaction. So if anybody asks that what type of reaction is combustion reaction, so combustion reaction is actually a kind of exothermic reaction. That means heat and light is produced, heat is released. Such as examples are coal, petroleum, firewood, natural gas. In all these cases, what is going to happen? When we start burning those products, heat and light is released. So these are combustion reactions and exothermic reactions, you can say. Okay, let's move on. Combustible substances I have already make you understood in the very first slide, but once again, the substances which burns in air and oxygen to produce heat and light are known as combustible substances. Okay, or which have the property to catch fire easily. For example, coal, petroleum, firewoods, same examples are there because these are known as basic combustible substances. Okay, what are non-combustible substances? So if we talk about combustible and non-combustible substances, then the substances which does not burns in air, simply substances which burns in air and oxygen to produce heat and light are combustible, while those which does not burn in air or oxygen to produce heat and light are non-combustible. For example, metals, glass, stones, cement, concrete, like this, all these substances which are not going to burn in air to produce heat and light are non-combustible substances. So this was the very first part of this topic. I hope you all have understood and complete your notes till here. Next new topic, that means types of reactions, we are going to start in the next class. Till then, read and revise and complete your notes.